It's on. All right, here we go. Thanks. Everybody hears search engine optimization, and they tend to nod off. They tend to blank over. They sometimes fall asleep and hit their head on the table. Everybody's been through probably a number of these kind of presentations, and so my goal has been to get the jargon out of it, get the technical terms out of it, get anything techie out of it, and try to give you an example of how this really works and why we do it. Another way to talk about search engine optimization is it really is an integral part of inbound marketing. What inbound marketing means is using the internet. We can find people who actually raise their hand and say, call me, I'm ready to buy, I'm thinking about buying, you know, I'll consider information from you, rather than employing salespeople that make cold calls and go out and go to networking events and those kind of things. So it's a source of bringing people to you. And search engine optimization is one of the more lasting things that you can do in terms of its shelf life. Once you optimize your website, you will continue to benefit from those things that you do to optimize it for a long time to come if you do the right things. Google does change the rules, but there are certain fundamental basic things you can do that live a long time. So a dollar invested today continues to pay back as time moves forward. So we're just going to start into my non-techie, my kind of unorthodox way of explaining this to everybody. I have a package here, and what we're going to do is we're going to pretend like we're doing an auction this morning, and we're going to auction this off, and whatever this package goes for, we're going to donate all that money to charity. Okay? Pretending, right? So who would beautifully wrapped package? I mean, it's a very appealing, and so there must be something good in there, right?
$20.
So, $20. Somebody give me $20 for that. Okay. So what if I said that what's in this package has something to do with travel? What would the bid be for it? It's got travel in there.
$50.
Somebody give me $50. Okay. All right. So what if I said that that travel is going to require you to take 2 weeks off work? What I have. Very good. Okay, 2,000. Well, really going. Okay, what if I told you that this travel in here requires a passport? Ooh,
3,000.
2,500. Who knows? $2,500. There's going to be a prize, by the way. Okay, and so then what if I said it's going to take at least 14 hours on an airplane to get there?
$3,000.
All right, so $3,000. We've got and it is sold at $3,000. All right, auction's over. All right. But I have to tell you that here's the really, really disappointing news. There is absolutely nothing in that box. I'm really sorry. But there is a consolation prize, $5 gift certificate to Starbucks.
Oh.
So now why would I do a mean thing like that? That mean is kind of awful, isn't it? But of course it's to make a point. And the point is that how many of us go to a website and we say, gosh, this is a beautiful website. Gosh, this is just great. I love the way this looks. I love the way this works. But when you get inside, or when Google gets inside of that website, Google sees that there's really nothing there. Because it's not structured properly, content isn't right, meta tags haven't been done, the source code isn't right. And so therefore Google considers that website empty. It was beautiful looking just like this package, but it's empty. Now, if this would have been a website, and Google would have been, we've been doing this online, and Google would have been asked to bid on this, Google would not have bid on this package because Google already knew there was nothing in there. Okay, so that's what we're working on with search engine optimization. I have an example I will point out, or I will pass out to all of you. You'll note that what we have here, you get it, is really quite a beautiful and appealing website. When I got to this website, I thought, wow, this is really nice looking. When I did the analysis on this website, using the keywords that are on the left-hand side in the navigation bar, which are all really good keywords, when I did the analysis on what's inside, the way Google looks at it, look at the next page, you'll see for all of those keywords with the geographic limit, pardon me? With a Vero Beach and a what else did I use? Did I use anything? No, only Vero Beach. With a Vero Beach geographic qualifier on it, which means that Google is going to rank them on a very small area, very few competitors, right? It's just Vero Beach. You see that this website, though it is beautiful, is not found by Google for having this business in Vero Beach because it is totally not optimized. So, most companies have a website that is in some form of non-optimization for important keywords for your business. So that's why SEO is important. So, what are some of the elements? We're going with this illustration. Here. So what does optimization of your website really mean? Let's use something really common. I happen to believe that most things that we're doing online today are processes that have existed for a long, long time that somebody has just taken and put on a computer. Accounting is the same as it was forever. You still have debits, credits, income statements, depreciation, all those things. All we did was put it on the computer. It's still the same. The concepts are still the same. The concepts of delivering information to people are still the same as well. And over thousands of years, hundreds of years, book publishing has been around for a long, long time. And it's come into a format, it has been in a format for a long time that has demonstrated the best way to convey information to people. Believe it or not, a non-fiction hardcover book like this is actually quite a good example of what good website optimization is. So here's a book, good way to convey information, and this is how Google tends to, it's some of the evaluation points that they use. Okay, so what do we got here? We got Greenspan here, not a real attractive guy, but somehow they made a pretty attractive cover, right? But this is done in order to attract attention on the bookshelf in the bookstore. Everybody remember what a bookstore is?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is in fact a homepage, is it not?
Mm-hmm.
It's appealing, gives a little bit of information, tries to grab you. That's what your homepage should do. You've got about 5 to 10 seconds to grab people with your homepage. So then what else is going on here? On the back it talks about little writing about Greenspan, about turbulent times, and kind of giving you a clue of what's on the inside, a little bit of a teaser from the author to kind of give you what you may find if you buy the book. We generally have some reviews on the fly sheet, so I'd like to have some reviews, or at least some suggestion of reviews, outside third-party reviews on your website, on your homepage. And then sometimes there's be some credits or whatever on the fly page. These are all things that should be kind of illustrated in terms of information that gives you more of a reason to look inside the book and buy it. So that's what a homepage is really all about. So what do we have next in a book that's important?
Table of contents.
Table of contents. Okay, so we have a table of contents. Okay, and table of contents has the chapter title. And when you turn to that page, if it says City Kid and you turn to page 19, it better say City Kid, right? And they better be writing about City Kid. Google does the same thing. It looks at your sitemap, it looks at your keywords, it looks at your titles and your heading, and says, this page had better be about that. Those keywords and those concepts had better be on this page, or I am going to reject you, and I may go on to someone else's website rather than read any more of yours, because you're not being honest with me, is what the crawler says. So, structuring your sitemap and your content and your titles and your headers on your page, it's all got to be consistent in what you're advertising to Google that it should be. So what else do we have in this book? We also have in the back acknowledgments. Okay, he says thank you to people that he has used to and supported him in using this book. What this is this builds his credibility. He's actually linking himself to people that helped him with the book, and these are people that are credible people in economics who say, wow, Alan Greenspan, when you look at this you say, wow, Alan Greenspan must be cool if he can give an acknowledgement to this guy for helping him with the book. Okay, that's kind of backlinks for your website, linking to other credible websites. That's kind of getting reviews for your business, third-party reviews out there on Google and other places that people can see, builds your credibility. Two minutes? Oh my gosh, this is actually about a 20-minute proposal. Okay, so next is index, and that's kind of that's an index which would be a site search on your website, so that people can find things based on certain terms that they may be looking for. And some people actually do have a glossary of terms on their website. Okay, talk about some of the elements that are in it. I'm going to pass this out. What this is kind of a checklist of search engine optimization. So if you were thinking about or talking to someone about what they may want to do for you in terms of optimizing your website, these are some elements that you might want to talk to them about in terms of what they may do to help you optimize your website.
And you actually, I was told you had 20 minutes, so you actually have 10 more minutes.
Oh, okay, I thought it was 20 minutes.
Yes.
Okay, give me that.
Education piece.
Sorry.
No, you guys can have it. This is a takeaway I'm not really going to talk about.
Give them back.
You're in a bad
Okay.
spot.
So I got 10 more minutes. That makes more sense because the next part takes 10 minutes. Okay. So
We're
that's
just testing you, Bill.
basically my takeaway what I just gave you. It's just kind of a checklist. All right. Wow.
Under pressure.
That was fast. Okay. Recently some guys from Google, a couple guys from Google got together and they wrote a book called Zero Moment of Truth. And that's what this next segment is about. Lots of handouts.
Good, I like handouts.
Okay, so, Zero Moment of Truth. About 30 years ago, the Procter & Gamble company, the world's greatest marketers on the face of the earth, acknowledged for a long, long time. I'm not sure they're still up there, but of course they were for a long time. And they created a concept within the way they did their marketing and advertising. It was called the first moment of truth. And what that was they would create a stimulus, an advertisement of some kind, newspaper, television, 30 years ago, whatever they could do, billboard, all those things. Create a stimulus, and the idea of the stimulus was to get a person into the store, into the right aisle, where the Tide is, we'll use Tide as an example, and have a man or a woman standing there in front of that bottle or box of Tide back then, making a decision based upon the packaging, and based upon price, and based upon maybe what they may have heard from some friends and word of mouth about the product, convincing them to buy the product. And if they bought the product, Procter & Gamble won the first moment of truth. It was pretty easy for Procter & Gamble back in those days to determine what the stimulus was giving them in terms of result, because they did track store traffic. Of course, they knew that a certain percentage of people would or wouldn't buy it, so they could kind of get an idea of what they were selling and if their program was successful or not to evaluate it. They'd change the packaging, they'd find they'd get more sales, or they'd change the packaging and the price, and they'd find they'd get less sales. So they had some tracking there on the first moment of truth. Second moment of truth is when you take the product home and you use it and you're happy with it or you're not happy with it. So to have a successful brand or product, you have to win both of those moments. Okay? A lot of us still think that that's kind of how marketing works. And a lot of us are very confused about what is this internet doing and where does it fit? And the zero moment of truth puts it in context. The zero moment of truth, as the diagram shows, is that there is another process that people go through now when they're shopping. And so what happens is we create a stimulus, and then people, what I say is, if people search for you and they find you in a search, what's the next thing that they do?
Click on your site.
They'll either click on a link or they'll pick up the phone and call you.
Nope. The next thing they do is search more.
Do some research.
The next thing they do is search more. And it is not a linear process. People do not search, find you, click to your website, call you. They find you, they click to your website and they say, that's nice, maybe I'll bookmark it, maybe I won't. And they go back to Google and they click on the second listing and the third listing and the fourth listing and the fifth listing, and they say, gosh, I'm tired, I'm getting confused, I'll come back to this another day. Particularly if it's a product that is a larger investment. And so this means that people are searching multiple times. So once they find you, they search more. It is not linear. No sales process is linear. Okay? One call, one stimulus, one call, one sale. Doesn't work that way for anyone. Ever. Never has. So there's a new element in there which we call the zero moment of truth, and that is once they find you, what do? They search more. Zero moment of truth is the search more. And that's when they go out and they look to see if your business is credible, look to see if your business has been around for a while, they look to see if you are contributing intellectually to your business in terms of like how-tos or what-ifs and those kinds of things. Are you out there? And are you an authority in your market on what you do? That's the zero moment of truth. So they go to try to find you on Facebook. Younger people will go to try to find you on Twitter. People will do searches for your business and they will see. It's always good in your community if they write in, say, Jim, I'll use you, screened in enclosures. If there are some articles out there, if somebody says screened in enclosures in in Port St. Lucie. It'd be nice if some articles came up, or at least maybe some blog posts or those kind of things that talked about the quality of, or the pricing. Maybe what you just said, an article about how they cost less now than they used to, if that comes up. Gives credibility to your business putting that kind of education material out there. So people spend a lot of time on YouTube. It's the second largest search engine in the world right now. And so people go to YouTube to see if there's anything out there that you have up on YouTube. Now the younger people do a lot more of this than many of us do, because we're a little bit older, but half the world's population now is below the age of 30, and so your market is moving younger. So your marketing has to reflect that. So that's the zero moment of truth. So search engine optimization is one element in the zero moment of truth, in that helps people find your website to get them started, but they are going to go out and search more for you in other places. And so what that means is that search optimization used to mean just your website. Search engine optimization now means being involved in social media. Now it means doing blog posts. Now it means doing Twitter, because Google goes out and finds you in all those places, gives you more points, so that hopefully in that ranking report I gave you, you're going to show up number 1, 2, 3, or 4 for the keywords that you select. So that's my no jargon. Let's have everybody understand what search engine optimization taught, how that worked for you. Yes?
I just have a quick thing. We had a customer call in. She needed a home that she was doing construction on, needed that type of policy. And we always ask, how are you referred to us? And she's like, oh, well, I got your name off of a blog for people that were looking for construction insurance. I was like, oh, okay, do you remember what that was? And she said no, and so I was like, all right. So I went on the internet and searched for it, and it was actually one of the Keller Williams realtors that we do business with. He put it on his blog, and that's how we got the call.
And you got the link.
Yep.
And
And the business.
He had a
It
link in
was-
his article that went to your
It was about
website.
$8,000 worth of
There you go.
insurance.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the more places you are, the more people you can get to write about you and note you and what they put out in blog posts and those kind of things. I mean, we should all be writing, if we have blogs, we should be writing about each other, and linking to each other's websites. That's very powerful. Very, very powerful. So, any other questions?
I think I have a lot of questions,
Okay.
but, like Twitter, let's just say, how does Twitter, relate to your website? I mean, I have a Twitter account. Have I ever tweeted? Once, I think.
Okay.
I mean, I just don't even really know why I'm at a meeting or, you know.
Let's look at it this way. Let's look at it this way. Let's say that a website is considered to be kind of a stable, kind of a static thing. If you set it up with your products and your about you and all that kind of stuff, okay, kind of static. Google is now wanting freshness. Not only really good content that's well optimized and is focused on your keywords, but it wants freshness. And places where you get freshness, meaning that if you think about this, if you were going to hire a speaker for a big event, and there are going to be thousands of people there, and the guy wanted to talk about search engine optimization, say that, you would want to hire someone that has written books, written articles, is constantly being quoted in the news and in the media. You got videos out there all over the place. I mean, talk about putting videos up, but you want to see a person that's current, writing a lot currently. New book, new article, new this, new that. Because everybody wants the newest concepts. Let's go back to the way Google decides how they're going to rate you on optimization. We go back to the publishing industry. Anybody who's more current is going to get more points with readers, right? So what blogs do and what Facebook does and what Twitter does is it creates that freshness. So those are places that you post frequently. And so Google sees that you're out there, you're fresh, you're active, you're always putting new stuff out, and you get more optimization points for that. Okay, that's where the freshness comes from. Now believe me, the weighting is shifting from doing linking and those kind of traditional things that people have done to freshness and content. It's all about content and freshness today, a big part of it, and how your website's structured. It's complicated, I can say. So that's why. So Gina, what you can do is there's an automated tool out there called Hootsuite, and what you can do with Hootsuite is you can set up Hootsuite so that if you write a post for Facebook, it'll automatically go to Twitter. And so, or you can write it on your blog, and it can automatically, you can set that up with an RSS feed, and it can automatically go out to your Facebook and your LinkedIn, And Google Plus is another place where you need to be. Google's giving lots and lots of points for Google Plus accounts. No one's using it, supposedly, but anybody who is using it, you're getting huge optimization points for using Google Plus.
Well, I
Because
can
Google
tell
owns
you,
it.
I can tell you why they're not using it. There is something about Google Plus
Yeah,
and the way that it links into whether it's Internet Explorer or any browser you're using, it extremely slows the machine down.
wow, really? Well, mostly it's just because I thought most of the literature says is everybody's already got a Facebook account, and that's viewed to be a replacement of your Facebook, and who wants to go through and try to friend everybody again, and
Right.
so it's gonna be very, very difficult to try to get legs on that. But still, followers count and engagement in your Facebook post, the more people you can get to say they like it, or comment on it, or forward it, or those kind of things, the more points you get for those, so you wanna be engaging in those posts. But you do need to put some out there. You don't need to be as frequent on the Google Plus stuff now, but it is important that you're at least there. So if you post it on Facebook 2 or 3 times, if you do one post on Google Plus, because a lot of the automated systems don't link into it yet to push that stuff out automatically. But very important to be involved on Google Plus as well. Other questions? I'm down to 1 minute. I'm full.
How do you spell Hootsuite?
Pardon me? Hootsuite, Hoot.
Sweet, okay.
I think, sweet. Okay, thank you. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to do a consultation with anyone who has an interest in talking about this, and, that's about it. Okay, thank you.
Bill,
Thank you, Bill,
Want to-
appreciate it, very educational.
Bill.
Camera, yeah, you're right. Thank you.
Mhm.
See you.